6 months from now, Emily Hartley will stand in a wedding dress soaked through with rain, watching the man she loves get dragged away by security guards while an entire town looks on in stunned silence. Her makeup will be ruined, her hands will be shaking, and she still won't know if any of it was real. "You promised me no more secrets!" She'll scream over the sound of the rain. "Emily, please, just let me explain." "Let him explain," a voice will interrupt, cold and satisfied, how he's been lying to every single person in this town for 6 months. But that hasn't happened yet. Right now, 3 months earlier, Emily Hartley doesn't even know his real name. She just knows him as the new cook who can't flip a burger to save his life. The man she has no idea is secretly worth $11 billion, hiding from a fiancé who broke his heart, testing whether anyone in this small town could ever love him for who he is instead of what he has. She's about to find out the truth in the worst possible way, and by the time she does, it may already be too late to save either of them. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's go back to where it all began. Sunnyside Diner sat on the corner of Main and 5th in a small town that hadn't changed much in 20 years. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, where the coffee was strong and cheap, and where Emily Hartley had worked the morning shift for the last 6 years, ever since her parents died, and left her to raise her 12-year-old brother Tyler alone. "The school trip is next month," Tyler said one morning, not looking up from his math homework in the corner booth. "It's $60. I'll figure it out," Emily said, wiping down the counter for the 3rd time that hour. "You always say that, and it always works out, doesn't it?" The bell above the door rang. A man walked in wearing a button-down shirt that was slightly too clean for someone who was supposedly down on his luck. He carried himself carefully, like someone trying hard not to stand out, and failing. "Is the cook position still open?" he asked. Emily looked him over, unconvinced. "You ever flipped a burger in your life?" "No," he admitted, "but I learn fast. That's what they all say." What Emily didn't know, what she had no possible way of knowing, was that the man standing in front of her, the one asking for a minimum wage job in a small town diner, controlled a company worth $11 billion. His name wasn't Jack. Well, it was. Jack Whitfield. He'd just left off the last part on purpose. What Jack didn't know, standing there in a kitchen that smelled like bacon grease and burnt coffee, was that in 3 months, he'd be willing to risk every dollar of that fortune for the woman glaring at him from across the counter. The owner, a heavy-set man named Frank who'd run the diner since before Emily was born, watched Jack burn his hand on the grill 20 minutes into his first shift. Jack didn't complain. He just wrapped it in a dish towel and kept working. "He's slow," Frank said later, "but he doesn't quit." "I'll give him a 2-week trial." "Your funeral," Emily muttered. That night, in the small rented room above the hardware store, bare walls, a mattress on the floor, a prepaid phone that felt like a relic from another life, Jack made a call. "It's me," he said quietly. "No calls unless it's an emergency. I need 6 months where nobody knows where I am." "Sir," his assistant Marissa said carefully, "the board is going to ask questions." "Then let them ask." A year earlier, Jack Whitfield had been engaged to a woman named Vanessa. The week his company's stock dropped 40% after a failed acquisition, Vanessa disappeared, along with the engagement ring and any illusion Jack had that someone could ever love him for anything other than his bank account. He remembered the exact moment he realized she was gone, standing in an empty penthouse, staring at a jewelry box she hadn't bothered to leave behind because it had no diamonds left in it. He swore that night that the next time someone loved him, it would have nothing to do with money at all. That's how a billionaire ended up burning his hand on a diner grill in a town he'd chosen at random from a map. 2 weeks passed. Jack got better at the grill, though he still flinched every time hot oil popped. Emily started to notice things about him. Small things, the kind of things you only catch when you're paying more attention to someone than you mean to. Like the way he carried a stack of heavy boxes from the delivery truck without breaking a sweat. "That boy doesn't walk like he's ever missed a meal in his life," said Miss Pearl, an elderly regular who came in every morning for black coffee and gossip. "He's just strong, Miss Pearl. Some people are just strong." Miss Pearl said, unconvinced. "And some people are lying." It was a small comment. Emily brushed it off. But it wouldn't be the last time someone noticed something didn't quite add up about the new cook. Late one night, after closing, Jack found a homeless man named Cooper sitting near the dumpster behind the diner. "You eat today?" Jack asked. "Not yet." Jack went back inside, packed up the leftover food that would have been thrown out anyway, and sat with Cooper while he ate. It became a habit. Most nights, if Cooper was there, Jack was there too. "Most guys who look as broke as you," Cooper said one night, studying him, "don't share what little they've got. You must have had money once." Jack was quiet for a moment. Something like that. Clue by clue, Jack was leaving a trail without meaning to. Not because he wanted to be caught, but because some habits don't disappear just because the clothes change. A man who grew up with nothing doesn't sit and eat with a stranger on the street out of guilt. He does it because somewhere in him, he still remembers what it felt like to be invisible. Back at the small house Emily shared with Tyler, her brother had opinions of his own. "Jack fixed the porch step without me even asking," Tyler said one evening. "He's not our responsibility, Tyler." "Maybe we're not his either. Maybe he just wants to help." Emily didn't have an answer for that. She just felt something soften in her chest that she wasn't ready to name yet. Derek Hale walked into Sunnyside Diner the way he walked into every room, like he already owned it, or was about to. "Emily," he said, sliding into a booth without being asked, "you look as stubborn as ever. And you look like you're still not taking no for an answer. I could give you a life you don't have to work this hard for." "I like working hard," Emily said. "It's the one thing nobody can take from me." Derek's smile faltered, just slightly, when he noticed the new cook watching the exchange from the kitchen doorway. Something about the way the man held himself, the posture, the quiet confidence, made Derek's jaw tighten. "Who exactly?" he asked no one in particular as he left. "Is the new cook?" Derek Hale wasn't just a spurned suitor with wounded pride. He was a real estate developer in the middle of a hostile takeover attempt against a company called Whitfield Holdings, a company whose CEO had mysteriously vanished from public life 3 months earlier. Derek had no idea that the elusive billionaire he'd been trying to outmaneuver in boardrooms was standing 20 feet away from him, wearing an apron and a name tag that said Jack. That night, back in his office, Derek made a phone call. "I want everything on the new cook at Sunnyside Diner," he told a private investigator. "Background, financials, everything." "That's an odd request for a line cook," the investigator said. "Just do it." A few nights later, Jack and Emily closed the diner together, the comfortable kind of silence settling between them that only happens after weeks of quietly getting used to someone. "Can I ask you something?" Emily said, wiping down the last table. "Anything. Where were you before here?" Jack paused, towel in hand. "Somewhere I stopped recognizing myself." "That's not an answer. It's the truest one I have right now." Emily didn't push. She'd learned, in the years since her parents died, that some people needed time before the truth, not pressure. What she didn't know was that time was about to run out, whether Jack was ready or not. The following week, Tyler's school announced its annual fundraiser. The whole town would be there, out on the green behind the elementary school, with food stalls and a silent auction to cover costs for kids whose families couldn't afford field trips. "Everyone's coming," Tyler said, practically vibrating with excitement. "I'll be there," Jack said. "You don't have to," Emily said. "I want to." What neither of them knew was that Derek knew about the fundraiser too, and he'd decided it was the perfect place to make sure the whole town learned the truth about Jack Whitfield at the exact same moment. The investigator's folder landed on Derek's desk 2 days before the fundraiser. "His name isn't Jack," the investigator said. "Well, it is. Jack Whitfield, CEO of Whitfield Holdings. $11 billion. He's not disabled, not broke, not anything he's pretending to be." Derek smiled, slow and cold. "Perfect." The green behind the elementary school was strung with string lights, and the whole town had turned out. Teachers, parents, kids running between the food stalls with paper plates of funnel cake. Emily stood near the auction table with Jack close beside her, close enough that she could feel the warmth of him even in the cool evening air. "Emily," Jack said quietly, "there's something I need to tell you before—" "Actually," a voice cut through the music, loud enough to carry across the entire green. "Allow me." Derek stepped up onto a small stage that had been set up for the raffle drawing, microphone in hand. "Everyone," he said, "I'd like you to meet Jack Whitfield, billionaire, CEO of Whitfield Holdings, and the man who has been lying to every single person in this town for the last 3 months." The music stopped. Gasps rippled through the crowd like a wave. Emily felt the ground shift under her feet. "What is he talking about?" Jack's voice was quiet. "It's true. All of it?" "Yes." Her voice broke when she spoke again. "You let me fall in love with someone who doesn't exist." "I exist," Jack said, stepping toward her. "Everything I felt for you was real, every second of it." "Then why lie?" "Because I needed to know if anyone could ever love me without my money attached to my name. And I found her." He looked at her, desperate for her to understand. "I just don't know if she'll ever forgive me for how I found her." Emily didn't answer. She turned and walked into the crowd, Tyler watching, torn between running after his sister and staring at the man who had fixed their porch step for nothing in return. A lie always costs something, even when the love behind it is real. Jack Whitfield was about to learn exactly how much. A week passed. Emily went to work at the diner every morning and came home every night, and the two things she felt most were heartbreak and the stubborn refusal to let it show. "Derek's trying to buy the building out from under us," Frank told her one afternoon, gripping a letter with a lawyer's letterhead. "Says he'll shut us down within the month if the sale doesn't go through." "He wouldn't," Emily said. "He already put in the offer." Derek had lost Emily. He'd lost the fight to seize Whitfield Holdings, since Jack's return to the public eye had shored up the company's defenses overnight. So if Derek couldn't win, he decided, he'd make sure everyone around Emily lost everything too. That night, smoke curled out from beneath the diner's storage room door before anyone noticed the flicker of orange behind it. "Emily's still inside!" Tyler shouted from the parking lot, where the whole street had gathered to watch the flames climb the back wall. Jack didn't hesitate. He ran straight through the front door and into the smoke. "Emily!" He found her near the back, coughing, disoriented, a support beam groaning above her. He pulled her out through the kitchen just as the beam gave way behind them, collapsing in a shower of sparks, exactly where she'd been standing seconds earlier. Outside, gasping for air, Emily looked up at him. "You came back for me. I will always come back for you," Jack said, still holding on to her like he was afraid to let go. Money or no money, truth or no truth, that was never going to change. Fire investigators later confirmed the blaze was no accident. A gas line had been deliberately tampered with. Security footage from a camera across the street showed a vehicle registered to one of Derek Hale's employees, parked behind the diner, less than an hour before the fire started. "Mr. Hale," a detective said, 2 days later, stepping into his office with a warrant in hand, "we have you on footage authorizing this. You're going to need to come with us." "I didn't do anything," Derek insisted, but his voice had lost its usual confidence. Arson and attempted buyout fraud say otherwise. The diner reopened a month later, fully renovated. New grill, new booths, a fresh coat of paint on walls that used to be smoke-stained and tired. Frank had no idea who paid for it. The invoice simply said, "Paid in full," no name attached. "Someone paid off the entire renovation," Frank said, staring at the paperwork. Anonymously. "I think I know who," Emily said quietly. She found Jack outside a few days later, standing across the street from the diner, like he wasn't sure he was allowed to come any closer. "You didn't have to do this," she said. "I didn't do it to win you back," Jack said. "I did it because this town gave me the first honest home I've had in years. But if it also happens to prove something to you, I won't pretend that doesn't matter to me too. I spent every night since the fundraiser trying to hate you," Emily admitted. "I couldn't. I'm not asking you to forget the lie," Jack said. "I'm asking you to let me spend every day after this earning back the truth. No more secrets. No more secrets. Ever. Trust doesn't return through words. It returns through action. Through porch steps fixed without being asked. Through running into a burning building without hesitation. Through a renovation with no name attached to it." For the first time in his life, Jack Whitfield finally understood the difference. Which brings us back to where we started. The rain that soaked Emily's wedding dress wasn't the end of their story. It was Derek's last, desperate attempt to ruin it. Out on bail and awaiting trial, he'd shown up uninvited, hoping to cause one final scene before security escorted him off the property in handcuffs. Exactly the way it looked in the opening moments of this story. Not Jack being dragged away. Derek. The rain broke into sunlight less than 10 minutes later, as if the sky itself had decided the story deserved a better ending. Emily stood at the altar in a wedding dress that had somehow survived the storm, and Jack stood waiting for her, the same way he'd waited every single day since the fundraiser. Patiently, honestly, without a single secret left between them. "Do you, Jack Whitfield, take Emily Hartley?" "I do." "And do you, Emily Hartley, take Jack Whitfield?" "I do." From the front row, Tyler leaned over to Miss Pearl with a grin. "Told you he just wanted to help." A year later, a new sign went up outside a community center 2 towns over. The Hartley Whitfield Foundation for Working Families. This foundation covers school trips, rent gaps, and medical bills for single-income families across the county, Emily would explain to anyone who asked. It started because one billionaire pretended to have nothing and found out what actually matters. "I spent years thinking money was the only thing anyone would ever want from me," Jack would say. "Emily taught me that the people worth keeping don't want it at all. They just want you." Real wealth was never about what Jack Whitfield had in the bank. It was about who was willing to stay, once they thought he had nothing left at all.